Hello guys, and welcome to the brand new Mazda MX-5. Okay, so it looks the same, but believe me, there have been quite a few changes made to this model. This is of course the RF model, so let me jump in, go for a drive and tell you what's new and also what it's like. Ugh. So I've only got this car for a limited amount of time, so this is very much a first drive video and not a full review. Anyway, let's fire her up. Oh, fruity. Right, and away we go. So the new Mazda MX-5 still gets the 2 litre naturally aspirated petrol unit, but power has been increased. So the previous car offered up 160 horsepower, whereas this car now offers 184 horsepower, thanks to a few tweaks here and there. So for example, this car's got lighter pistons. It's also had changes made to the throttle valves and the exhaust valves, and all kind of clever engineering. As you would expect, 0 to 62 times have been slashed. So this car will now hit 62 miles per hour in 6.8 seconds, but it is a fair bit slower if you go for the 6-speed automatic. That's just under 8 seconds. I've got the 6-speed manual gearbox at my disposal, and as you would expect from a Mazda MX-5, the changes are short and they are sweet. Torque has also been increased, so you're now looking at 205 Newton meters as opposed to 200 in the previous car. So torque hasn't really been increased that much in this car, but it all counts. As Tesco says, every little helps. In regards to top speed, this car tops out at 137 miles per hour.
Hang on, what about the 1.5 litre engine? Yes, that is still available, and that has also had a power increase, although it's a very small one. That unit now offers 132 horsepower as opposed to 131, and torque has also been increased from 150 Newton meters to, wait for it, 152 Newton meters. 0 to 62 takes 8.7 seconds, and the top speed is 126 miles per hour. Both of the enhanced engines are also available in the soft top model, but let's get back to the 2 litre engine fitted to this RF model.
Now, can you feel that extra oomph? Well, it is a little bit difficult to say, purely because it's been quite some time since I last drove a 2 litre MX-5. In fact, it was this time last year. However, from memory, yeah, I can feel the extra increase in power. It feels pretty strong. Would I go so far to say it's fast? Not quite, but I believe this car will offer enough performance to keep most of you happy. But let's not forget that MX-5 has never been about pure speed. It's been about balance and handling and poise. The Mark IV, as you know from my videos last year, if you've watched them, handles brilliantly. It's got a really nice balance to it. It's nimble, it's direct, and it's so much fun. There's good reason why over 1 million of these have been made, because it's a fantastic driver's car. And before you say it was a hairdresser's car or whatever, guys, you need to drive one to really appreciate it. You need to experience it to know what it's all about. Not only does this engine have more power, but it revs more as well. So the previous model would rev out to 6,800, but this car now revs up to 7,500. Oh yes, more revs means more fun. Other changes in the new model, I've now got a reversing camera, whereas the previous model didn't have that. You've got more safety features, and you've also got telescopic steering for better adjustment. That means it's easier to get a comfortable driving position. Now, speaking of comfort, this car is the 2 litre model, of course, meaning you do get sports suspension and bigger alloys. But to be honest, I'm comfortable in here. The seats are really nice and comfortable, and they offer a decent amount of support. I'm not a big fan of their colour, but that's personal preference, of course. This model is the RF, of course, meaning that you get the hardtop, which folds away really nicely, and it does make this car look really, really smart, especially in this machine grey paintwork. It does add a bit of weight low. Now, one thing I will say about the hardtop roof is that when it's down, you do get a massive blind spot here, which isn't ideal. Of course, you can still use your wing mirrors, but yeah, when I look over my right shoulder, I can't see anything. The other issue with the hardtop is that when it's down, you do get quite a bit of wind noise. Now, I know some of you may think that's a really picky thing to say. It's a convertible, you will get wind. But what I mean is, it seems to capture wind, and it does get a little bit noisy in my right ear. One advantage of having the RF is, of course, it's better for winter, and you get better refinement as well. So with that in mind, let's pop the hardtop up, which I need to slow down a little bit more to do so. Still won't come up. Ah, interesting. So you can only put this up at 6 miles per hour. I may as well stop. In fact, I will. There we are. Hardtop comes up like so. And there we are cocooned. Right, let's see what refinement is like. It's not bad. You can hear a bit of road noise from these alloys, but it's not deafening. There are a few squeaks coming from above my head, which I wasn't quite expecting, particularly in a new car. But apart from the road noise and that squeaking, it's not too bad in here. It's not quite as quiet as I was expecting, if I'm going to be honest. But let's face it, this car is made to be driven topless. Therefore, I think it's about time I put it back down, which means having to find somewhere to stop again. Yeah, not very practical if you're driving somewhere and you have a sudden downpour, because, well, a sudden downpour is sudden by nature, isn't it? Right, roof back down. And hey presto.
Sadly, the hardtop isn't quite as practical as other electric roof systems, but at least it offers more refinement compared to the manually operated soft top. It will cost you more money, of course, though. Speaking of which, just how much will it set you back? The RF starts from £22,595 and it is available in 3 trim levels: SEL Nav Plus, Sport Nav Plus and the new range-topping GT Sport Nav Plus. SEL Nav Plus starts from £22,595 and is able to offer features such as 16-inch alloys, climate control, cruise control with speed limiter, LED headlights, 7-inch touchscreen, Bluetooth, DAB radio, navigation and heated seats. Sport Nav Plus starts from £25,095, adding features such as keyless entry, adaptive front lights, automatic lights and wipers, rear parking sensors, Bose sound system, auto dimming rear view mirror, black leather seats, traffic sign recognition, autonomous emergency braking and lane departure warning. Then you've got the GT Sport Nav Plus, which is the model tested here, starting from a price of £27,795. This trim level adds 17-inch alloys, Napa leather seats, brilliant black rear spoiler, adaptive LED headlights, blind spot monitoring and a reversing camera.
Not only is this car more powerful and it emits a little less CO2 as well, it also has a Fruitier exhaust note. Now, when I drove the previous 2 litre last year, I did sense, I did kind of think that it felt a little bit flat, whereas the 1.5 litre engine sounded quite nice. It had a nice raughty tone to it. This new 2 litre definitely sounds better. It sounds more fruity, it sounds more lively, it sounds a little bit more throaty as well. Also, the new engine emits less CO2 as opposed to its previous version. So this car emits 156 grams per kilometre, and in regards to fuel economy, on a combined run you can expect up to 40.9 mpg. And in regards to VED, for the first year you'll pay £515. The steering has got a decent weight to it. I would like it to be a little bit heavier if I'm going to be honest, but it's not a deal breaker. There's a decent amount of communication. And like its predecessors, the Mark IV is a wonderful car for driving. It really is. It's got fantastic handling, it's nice and balanced, it's predictable. Of course, it's rear-wheel drive, so if you are a little bit ham-fisted and a little bit silly, you will get the back end out a little bit. But because it doesn't have a crazy amount of power, it's predictable, it's safe, and above all, it's fun. And what more do you want from a car like this? The brakes are also strong. The brake pedal has got a good amount of feel through it. Stopping power is good. And overall, this car handles really well. There's a good amount of grip. Of course, you've got a limited slip differential as well. And this car is simply well sorted when it comes to handling. Okay, so it's not the flattest sports car through corners. There is a bit of body lean, but it still has a fantastic amount of grip. And to be honest, it sort of adds to this car's character. So my time in the Mazda MX-5 RF is pretty much over, but I have really enjoyed it. To be honest, if I were buying a new Mazda MX-5, I still think I would go for a soft top because it is a little bit lighter and a little bit cheaper, of course. But the RF, it's a stunning looking car. You've got that nice coupe looks, and of course it's better for winter as well. The new 2 litre engine, yeah, it really helps to, I was going to say rejuvenate this car, but that's a bit harsh. It didn't need rejuvenation, but what I mean is it helps to give the MX-5 that extra bit of spice. Yes, extra bit of spice. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.